So how was your day? The Turning, I think. It's called The Turning, right? So The Turning is a movie I actually forgot the name of when I went to purchase my ticket. I was like, that scary movie that comes out tomorrow with Finn Wolfhard in it. Whatever that is. True story. It happened. It stars Mackenzie Davis. Mackenzie Davis becomes a live-in nanny to these kids. It's a big creepy house, no parents, though there is this really old maid lady. She bonds with the little girl played by Brooklyn Prince because the little girl's really nice. She totally conflicts with the older brother played by Finn Wolfhard because that older brother is a dick, which I'm sure he had a really fun time playing. He was like, look, I've been nice guy Mike for years. Give me something. I want to be a douche in a movie. Well, he's a douche in here. And now we have ourselves a scary haunting movie. Ooh, kind of. Well, this movie actually frustrates me because there are things in here that I liked the concept of, but not the execution. I feel like I say that about a lot of scary movies these days. This movie actually treats itself like a psychological thriller, which first of all, I like that it was going that route. There were a few times in this movie where there's imagery in the background. Maybe you'll see a face somewhere and you're just like, did I just see a face? But the movie never breaks to focus in on it to tell you like, yeah, you totally saw a face in the background. And it's not like the characters were all pushed to one side of the frame with this open chasm where you know something's gonna happen. Like, oh, we're just kind of pushed to the side. Look at all that space over there. I wonder if something's gonna happen. Right there. Who saw that coming?
Everybody.
Exactly. It wasn't like that. There was an element of nuance. It felt kind of clever for a bit. And then the pacing. Yeah, I wasn't wearing a watch, but at a point in this movie, I really wished I was wearing a watch because I wanted to check the time. Luckily, I wasn't wearing a watch because I probably would have just been demoralized because I imagine the movie was only on for about 40 minutes at that point. Felt like 2 hours. Everyone in the movie did a fine job. I felt like they did a good job for what they had. And the end of this movie, I liked the concept of, not going to spoil it for you, but I liked where they tried to go, but again, the execution, it just didn't land. Rather than this really compelling ending, like this is our Sixth Sense moment, this ending's gonna bring people back to the movie theater. You just feel like, did you guys run out of film, time, or budget? You just had to wrap it right there? Because that's what it feels like. From what I can remember, not that I'm gonna watch the movie again, but from what I can remember, the ending directly conflicts, or the implication of the ending directly conflicts with the beginning of the movie. So what's the point of the ending? Yeah, they probably ran out of budget. So you have this, oh my gosh, what's the ending? It's the end of the movie as you know it. That's that. Also, why didn't she just leave? Before the haunting-ish things really started amping up, when it was just like a creepy house, maybe a couple of creepy things happened and one of the kids was a complete dick. Why not be like, you know what? Fuck this. This is a summer job anyway. I'm gonna go home and do some shots with my old college roommate. Bye. Fuck you. It's pretty much how we all left the theater, kind of. Why didn't she just leave? Usually in haunting movies, people don't leave to go home because the haunted house is their home. She does struggle with that for a second, but she's like, I did pinky promise I'd stay. Oh, you're right. You don't want to, they'll throw you into 5-year-old jail for that. You don't want to break a pinky promise. There's a caveat. There's a clause to the pinky promise. You can break it if one of the kids is a dick. But the little girl might be in danger because her brother's a dick. All right, call CPS. Do that. And a big thing is anytime there was something kind of clever happening, you know, like, oh, did I or didn't I see a face, like I said before, the vessel carrying you through that scenario was just kind of the same old shit. And the last act of this movie, I was like, okay, now the ghost is just chasing them. Any cleverness this movie had, just now the ghost is chasing them. Also, it's a named ghost, and I love the fact they start throwing out the name, and I'm like, who is that? They're talking like I'm supposed to know who the fuck that is. Who is that? A lot of times when that happens in a movie, I always want to blame myself first. It's like, maybe you weren't paying attention, Jeremy. But now for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and say they could have done better. I feel like they dropped the name earlier on, but it was like, oh yeah, name of the ghost. Oh, PB&J sandwich was my favorite. We're on to other shit now. Yeah, I was just like, stop talking about ghosts like it's been a main character who died 3/4 of the way through this film. Actually, I humor the idea that maybe that ending where it's like, you know, cliche ghost is chasing him, they need to escape. This is actually what it feels like. It's like they did a test screening with a control audience and the audience was like, that ending sucks. They're like, fine, we'll keep that ending and then do a second ending. Okay. Oh shit, we ran out of budget. It's the end of the movie. Folks, in the end, I'm not mad at this movie. I'm just disappointed. Because it actually showed promise. It's like, I like the concept of this. I like the concept of that. I actually like the concept of the end. But it's all about execution and pacing. Don't bore me along the way. This is one of those movies that actually is deserving of a remake. I feel like this movie could get a remake and they could bring something better to the table. And when that remake inevitably happens and I watch it, it'll feel like I'm watching it for the first time because I'm not going to remember this one in T-1 day. Yep, already forgot. All right, so The Turning. Have you seen it? What did you think about it, or what did you think of The Gentleman? Actually, real question, scrap those other ones. What is a scary movie or horror movie, or any movie in particular, that had interesting concepts in it, just wasn't executed so well? Whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.